Colorado.
Good morning. Happy Wednesday, May 22nd. I'm Kimberly Perot, and welcome to Good Morning Vail. On today's show, we are rapidly approaching that fun holiday weekend that is Memorial Day. So I'll be in the kitchen showing you how to make a delicious but easy summertime treat to bring to all of those grills and barbecues that you'll be joining. Plus, we have a conversation around summer salads and more. And then Avisha had 2 conversations with authors about how to propel your life forward. So all of that is happening. Let's get started.
So many things to see and do. Summer, winter, spring, or fall. Your home in the Rockies has it all. So get up, get ready to start your day. The coffee's brewing, you're on your way. The fun is waiting outside your door. Good morning, Vail. Get up, get ready to start your day. Mountains are calling you out to play. Come on, make you feel right at home. Good morning, babe. See what lies in store for you. So many things to see and do. Summer, winter, spring, or fall. Home in the Rockies has it all. Get up, get ready to start your day. Coffee's a brewing, you're on your way. The fun is waiting outside your door. Good morning, babe. Good morning, Vail.
Think Big features top kid inventors who face off against each other to see who can come up with the most innovative and creative invention. In Think Big, kids acquire and showcase their skills in creativity, science, marketing, design, and don't forget, teamwork. Check your local listings and watch the world's most innovative kids. They create and invent new toys, games, websites, and new modes of transportation. Tune in to Think Big.
Stevie Lee Woods presents Nashville Roadhouse Live, where country meets rock and roll.
It's where I drank my first beer, where I found Jesus, where I wrecked my first car, I tore it all to pieces.
Join us every week for more live performances right here on Nashville Roadhouse Live.
Did you know that all Eagle County residents and visitors can get a free Eagle Valley Library District card? All you need is a photo ID. You get our online databases and resources, free music, free streaming, all from wherever you have internet access. Free audiobooks and e-audiobooks straight to your phone. Go into your Eagle Valley Library District branch today and get your library card.
Hi there! Are you ready to explore famous neighborhoods from New York City to Kentucky? Watch The Neighborhood with host Nicole Newman. Featuring famous people, unique history, and delicious places to eat and drink. Our viewers get an inside personal look at each neighborhood. With each episode we learn, grow, laugh, and live like a local, not just a visitor. Welcome to The Neighborhood. Check your local program schedule and tune in.
You know TV8 Vail has great local content, but did you know about our production services? Hire an expert to develop your website reel, commercials, live stream events, studio production, and more. If you can dream it, we can help you do it. TV8 delivers high-quality content in both English and Spanish. Contact us today to discuss your next project. Email Danielle at tv8vail.com or call 970-628-9881.
Daily Flash Latino. Designed for the American Latino audience, Daily Flash Latino host Jessica Reyes and Fabian Marcano deliver their fresh perspective on the latest entertainment news, celebrity gossip, fashion, health, and more in both English and Spanish, aka Spanglish. Daily Flash Latino builds, connects, and celebrates the diverse Hispanic audience. Daily Flash Latino, trending news and entertainment with a splash of Spanglish.
Good morning, Vail.
Now, we are still in the throes of May, and May is Mental Health Awareness Month. Avisha had a conversation with the author of the book, Living All In. It empowers people to confront their anxieties and realign their expectations. Let's take a look.
Welcome back. I am here with Chris Jensen. Chris, you are a life coach and you're an author. You've helped so many people live their best lives. Before we talk about your book, A Living All In, I do want to ask you, how did you get into being a life coach?
Oh, well, thank you for having me. Nice to see you, Avija.
Thank you.
Yeah, I got my master's in counseling psychology right after college, and coaching was not on the scene then. It was therapy, right? And so when coaching came on the scene and I learned what it was, I thought I am going back to school to become a board certified coach. And a lot of people ask me, what's the difference between coaching and therapy? And in a nutshell, therapy could be about healing past wounds, what hasn't worked in the past, and coaching is all about what works and moving forward. And so I went back to school, became a board certified coach, and opened Chris Jensen Coaching.
That's amazing. And you love helping people. Where do you think you get that from? Because that's your gift.
Yeah, that is a very good question. My faith plays a big part of it, I think. I mean, I was born into a faith household, and we grew up learning to be servant leaders, to serve, other people, and put others before ourselves. And I also think I'm an empathetic person, and it just does come naturally to me too, to care very much about other people. And with coaching, I get to learn tools to help other people get where they want to go, right? To get unstuck and get where they want to go. Yeah.
That's amazing. And your book, Living All In, I have it right here. It is full of so many awesome tips and tools. It is really helpful. I've made notes and I've circled a lot of things. There's something that I really love in here, and I want you to elaborate on it. What does this mean to you? Speak good magic.
That is so important. It's the words we use, the language we use, because our brain is always listening to the words we say. So those words are going to get us where we want to go or not. We get what we focus on. And if what we're focused on is not where we want to go, we're going to get that too. Like if I'm driving down the street focusing on a telephone pole, I might hit the pole, even though I don't want to. So if that makes sense.
So is speak good words, is it how we talk to ourselves or our thoughts, or can it be how we talk to other people?
Yes, it's what you say out loud and what you say to yourself subconsciously and consciously. And so I have something, it is in the book, that it's a framework I created called the 4 F's, and it's very simple. It's feel it, find it, fact check it, frame it. And so the speak good magic comes into play there, where if we feel a way we don't want to feel, that is our time to stop, get curious, right? Because our feelings, none of them are wrong, they are action signals. And so that is when we'll stop and find it. What just went through my head? It might be subconscious, it might be something we didn't say out loud, but there is words that might have gone through our head that aren't serving us. So after we find it, then we fact check it. Is that true? Is this serving me? Is this the best thing to be rattling through my head right now? And if not, frame it. Frame it to something better.
Awesome. And there's something else here that I love that I wanted to ask you about. It's choosing to see others in good light may also be contagious. they may decide to shine that day.
Oh, yes.
What does that mean to you?
Well, I think we are a reflection of one another. We're created for community. We live in community where humans aren't meant to live alone. If you think about it, we're the only species that, a baby's born and it cannot survive without another person, at least one other person. So we're created to energize one another, right? And so if we're seeing other people in a good light, that whether they know it or not, it makes a difference. And it can change their internal dialogue. It can change what they're saying to themselves. It can change how they feel about themselves. It can have a huge impact on their self-worth, right? Without even us having to say very much.
Yeah. So a quote that I like, I don't know who the author of this quote is, but it's, talk to your kids as if they're the most wise and mature and amazing people, and then they'll grow up and have that as their inner voice. So there's so much power in how we think and how we speak. What are some tips that you can give to people today who want to have a better day and just want to break out of a rut or just be happier? Some actionable, practical tips.
Yes, well, the 4 Fs, like I just said, that's fantastic. I mean, if you feel a way you don't want to feel, use it as an action signal. Stop and think, what's going through my head? Sometimes those are lousy questions we ask ourselves, like, why do I have to be here? Why is this person acting this way? Why can't I get it right? Whatever, those are lousy questions. And when our brain asks a lousy question, our brain, again, subconsciously, we might not even know it, our brain will answer the question. So if the question is lousy, the answer will be lousy. So stop, be aware, ask better questions. And then, like you just mentioned, the example with the parents, right? Yes, it happens both ways though. Like I said, we get what we focus on. So if we are maybe in fear for what might happen to our kids, that is also, they're feeling that. That is also a reflection. So we want to anticipate greatness for ourselves and for other people, and especially for our kids. Yes, for sure.
I love that. So Chris, tell me about where people can find this book, and also you have another book coming
I
out.
do. Thank you. This is on Amazon, and all of people can follow me to keep track of the new book coming out in March 2025. On all my socials are Chris Jansen Coaching. Instagram, Chris Jansen Coaching. Facebook, Chris Jansen Coaching. LinkedIn, Chris Jansen Coaching. And then chrisjansencoaching.com is my website. So you can get the book there, and you can also get it on Amazon.
And they can also book sessions with you, right?
Yes,
coaching?
all my services are on my website. Yes, I love coaching.
What
I'm
is your
available.
new book going to be about?
So this book, actually, I took one chapter from this book and wrote another book about it. So this book, Living All In, How to Show Up for the Life You Want, is really about living all in and showing up for life, even when we don't want to, because that's not as easy as it sounds. Life can be hard, right? And so my coaching and my writing, I think, are special because it's not just, we all know it's a good idea to live all in and show up for the life we want. It's also hard to do sometimes. When life gets tough, how do you do that? And so that's where I come in, and that's where the books and the coaching come in. And so like this book, for example, walks people through how to do that with exercises and very specific examples of how to do that in lots of areas: fear, pain, grief, overwhelm, parenting, addiction, and habits. So those are all addressed in this book in chapters, and one of the chapters does address addictions and habits. So the next book is about addiction and grace and taking the shame off of it.
Amazing.
And how to walk through that.
Does it have a title?
It does.
Okay.
It does. You'll have to follow me to.
We will definitely follow you to find out the name of your next book. Thank you so much, Chris.
No.
It's always a pleasure talking to you. I appreciate the book is called Living All In. Go out and get it. It's been a great book, a life changer.
Oh,
thank you.
Thank you for having me.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
Good morning, Vail.
Welcome aboard.
Bobby Laurie and Nikki Noya have your ticket to everything you need for an on-the-go lifestyle. Grab your boarding pass. It's time to jet set.
One of the longest-running syndicated television series is back, America's Black Forum, a weekly series highlighting the latest in our lifestyles, business, entertainment, and finance. We introduce you to entrepreneurs who are making their mark in the business world and leaders who are fighting for change.
Welcome to America's Black Forum.
Tune in each week to know what's happening in our world today on America's Black Forum.
Hey, it's your boy, Nephew Tommy, your host for an all-new season of Black College Quiz, where the nation's best and brightest display their knowledge of Black history and culture while competing for prizes and scholarships. So get ready to see HBCU Nation take the academic field. Black College Quiz! BCQ! Black College Quiz! BCQ! Black College Quiz! BCQ! Yeah, man.
Join us on the famous Leadville Railroad. This historic train ride takes you on an unforgettable trip through the heart of the Rockies for an afternoon of adventure, relaxation, and sightseeing. Our scenic train rides are a perfect place to bring families closer together while immersing them in the natural beauty and rich history of this picturesque region. Enjoy the spectacular Colorado scenery. Even meet the engineer. Make memories that will last a lifetime. Tickets available at LeadvilleRailroad.com.
You know TV8 Vail has great local content, but did you know about our production services? Hire an expert to develop your website reel, commercials, live stream events, studio production, and more. If you can dream it, we can help you do it. TV8 delivers high-quality content in both English and Spanish. Contact us today to discuss your next project. Email Danielle at tv8vail.com or call 970-628-9881.
I'm Danella Richard. I've made a career traveling the world. I've worked for some of the biggest names in travel, and now I've traded in my business suit for a swimsuit. Swimming with the sharks, swinging at the edge of the world, throwing back a few shots, or shall I say spirits. Eating some of the best cuisine, and even making a few furry friends along the way. I invite you to come along with me and discover the world.
Good morning, Vail.
I have to say, the kitchen is my home away from home when I'm not sitting on the couch here at Good Morning Vail. And boy, we are coming up on a holiday weekend and the start of summer barbecues and festivities. So I'm so excited. I'm going to show you a classic dessert treat, and we're going to put a little bit of a festive holiday twist to it. So we are making Rice Krispie treats from scratch. Believe it or not, this is probably going to be the easiest recipe you'll try and execute all summer long and beyond. So let's go ahead and get started. What we're gonna do, we have Rice Krispie treats, we have butter, so you want salted butter because, you know, salt and sweet, you wanna make sure that it's a nice balance there, and then marshmallow puffs. And then if you don't have, you know, sprinkles or colored Rice Krispie treats, you can use whatever sprinkles that you want to. So we are going patriotic, red, white, and blue to kick off the summer season because Memorial Day is coming up, and so is the 4th of July. So let's go ahead and get started. We're gonna open up our Rice Krispie treats, and we need 5 cups of Rice Krispie treats. What you'll need is a separate mixing bowl, a hot pan, and we're gonna go ahead and get this turned on to about medium heat. What we're gonna do from there is cut up our butter, melt our marshmallows, and then pour it all over our Rice Krispie treats. It is literally the easiest recipe you'll make all summer. Your friends and family are going to love it, and they're way better for you, relatively speaking, than what you would buy at the store already made. So we're gonna pour it in. You need about, I'd say 5 cups, but I can kind of estimate here what that looks like. We're just pouring those 5 cups in there. Looks good to me. And then again, you know, measurements don't have to be exact on this recipe. You can add as much or as little as you want to. So our pot is heating up. We've got our dry Rice Krispie treats, and then you need about 4 tablespoons of butter. So we're gonna go ahead and cut it. And what's great about sticks of butter, you can actually see all of the tablespoon marks right along there. So we're gonna cut it right on the line where it says 4 tablespoons. And then we're gonna chop it up and dice it into smaller pieces just so that it melts a little bit easier. But keep your butter out because we're gonna need this in a minute. So once you've done that, we'll go ahead and cut this butter up really quickly. And we're just gonna melt it down. When you cut it, it makes it easier so it melts faster. And then we're gonna add in our marshmallows and we're gonna stir it all together and it's just gonna be great. All right, the butter is cut. The butter is in the pan. You can tell that the pan is nice and hot. My hands are going to be covered in butter here in a second. But we're just going to go ahead and stir this butter down. You don't want to burn the butter. You know, there's this whole brown butter trend. We don't want it to be brown. We don't want to burn it. So once you get your pan nice and hot, you can kind of reduce that heat a little bit just to get it going. While it's doing that, while it's melting down, I'm going to go ahead and open up my marshmallows. And you can use about 10 ounces of marshmallows, or as our lovely summer intern has told me, you need about 1 cup and a 1/4 cup to equate about 10 ounces. What you can also do though is just kind of, again, measure it as much as you need to. Big fan of the scissors in the kitchen. It just makes life a lot easier so marshmallows don't go flying everywhere. So the butter is looking great. We're just gonna stir it up a little bit more. I just wanna make sure it's completely melted before I start folding in the marshmallows. Looks good to me. I love the smell of butter, of melted butter. It reminds me of pancakes growing up when I was a kid. Every Saturday, my dad would make pancakes for us, hot on the griddle. And you know, you could smell that butter on the griddle and you knew pancakes were being served up. So I just love summer memories and growing up and just certain sights and sounds and smells that remind me of wonderful times in my life. All right, we're going to go ahead and pour about 1 cup of marshmallows into our pan. Again, you just need about a medium saucepan, and we'll kind of fold it in gradually because it'll take a minute to melt down. So you want to basically melt them about 75% of the way. Looking good, butter's looking good. We're going to add in these marshmallows, also looking good there. Just going to toss them all in. So that's about a cup of marshmallows in here right now. And then we're going to add a little bit more, because why not? I like mini marshmallows. One of the fun things that I like to do when I'm making this recipe is actually throw some in at the very last second, because it's fun to have like little marshmallow like bits in your Rice Krispie treat so it's not fully melted. All right, looking good. I can tell that it's starting to melt. Nothing better than marshmallows. You know, marshmallows are really just all they are sugar, which is pretty great. And just kind of stir it down. You can tell that it's starting to become a little bit more liquidy. You can also use your spoon or your spatula or your stirring stick, whatever you're using, to make this to kind of smash down those marshmallows. There we go. It looks good. So pretty soon here, we're going to actually remove it from the heat in a second and then just dump it over our Rice Krispie treats. And that is the easiest part there. All right. Looking good. I'm going to turn this heat off. All right, we're going to go ahead and just let it cool a little bit, but not too much because you still want it to kind of liquidate so that it can be poured over these Rice Krispie treats. All right, looking good to me. I'm pouring it all in there. Great. Nothing beats butter and sugar combination. I don't know about you, but that's one of my favorites. So we're just going to go ahead and stir this up, and whoops if you accidentally spill Rice Krispie treats all over the counter. But looking good. All right, so we're going to keep on stirring it in here, just like that. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to add a few more extra marshmallows, because why not? It'll just kind of melt. It'll be in there. It'll be hot. It'll be great. You know what I love about Rice Krispie treats as well? You can actually like put in whatever you want to. Sprinkles, you can do chocolate, whatever it is. All right, looking good. All right. So as you can see, you can add more of the marshmallow mix if you wanted to. Depends on how sticky you want it to be. Now this is the fun part. My hands are about to get really dirty here. So we're going to take the butter. You're going to butter your hands really, really well. This is the fun part. He's never said he didn't have to rub it all in butter. So I'm just buttering my hands because this is going to get so sticky here in a second. And I've got 2 fun cutouts. We're going to actually put some butter on the inside of our cutouts as well, because look at that. Look at how slimy my fingers are this morning, you know. You're not cooking if you're not getting messy. That's what I always say. All right, so we've got 2 different ones. So we've got a ribbon for the holidays to honor, you know, those who have served, those who have fallen. We really appreciate all that they've done. Very patriotic here in TV8. And then we've got our stars, because stars are patriotic and fun as well, and great summer symbol. So we've got both of these here. What we're going to do is our hands are now coated in butter, so it's not sticky. You're just going to take your Rice Krispie treat. You're going to shove it into your cookie cutout, and you're just going to make a nice shape there. This is going to be fun. I say fun, debatable. Sticking it all in there. Or if you don't have time to do the cookie cutout, you can always just put it flat on your parchment paper, and then we can add some sprinkles to it. So we're working on it. Or if you wanted to, you can also just do it completely flat and then just use the cookie cutter as normal. This is not my favorite way to do it, but it's the easiest way to do it. And then you just kind of like let them set. I would always throw them maybe into, hands are really messy here. I would throw them into the fridge just to let them set and cool down a bit and let them all kind of gel together. But then one of the other things that I want to do is add a little bit of fun sparkle. So we're going to go ahead and cut these sprinkles, cut them open. I'll make a ribbon here in a second, but I want to mix up these sprinkles so that we've got all of the colors, red, white, and blue, because summer season is upon us. Looking good there. You know, it's fun. I know my birthday's in the summer, so I'm just so excited because I do all of the fun things in the summertime. You know, all of the lakes, all of the hiking, all of the rivers, floating, whatever you want. It's the best time of year. I say that. I also really love winter too, but it's one of my favorites. All right, so we've got that mixed. I'm going to go ahead and just shape this star up a little bit better. And then what you can do is just sprinkle it just like that. Just add some sprinkles to it. And then there we go. Boom. We've got a 4th of July, Memorial Day, whatever holiday you want to celebrate star. I'm going to go ahead and also make another one for this ribbon that we've got here. Now we could probably add a little bit more of this marshmallow butter mixture if we need to, if it seems like it's not sticking together that well. Again, whatever you want to do, you don't have to have exact measurements. It's really one of those great recipes where you can just throw it together and try what you want to. All right, we'll go ahead and push this one out. I don't know if this shape is going to like it as much as the stars, but there we go. Kind of looks like a ribbon, also looks like a bunny rabbit, but you know what? It is what it is. Great for any holiday season. We'll add some sprinkles to it to celebrate our fun, patriotic holidays coming up. Stay tuned. We've got a lot more on the show. We're going to be talking about wild seafood and how you can really make sure that you are eating and shopping sustainably. We'll be right back.
Good morning, Vail.
It's time for the best coverage of the top stories in sports. The Sports Wrap with Jason Page starts now.
How do you make Anthony Edwards the face of your franchise if you're the Minnesota Timberwolves? We'll get into that.
And we say hello to our good friend Matt Verderam, who hangs out with us from SI.com. Their NFL insider, one of them, is hanging out with us on the program today.
Did you see Caitlin Clark last night? She put up a 40-burger, hits the game-winning three as time expires. Let's turn our attention to the Denver Broncos, one of the NFL's most dysfunctional situations.
The Sports Wrap with Jason Page.
For the latest and greatest trends in pop entertainment, Popstar Today brings you compelling celebrity lifestyle stories that matter most to you. From movies, music, TV, and streaming shows, to fashion, social media influencers, and the latest on who is seeing who. Join host Elizabeth Stanton as she digs deep and dives in. This is Popstar Today.
8-time Emmy-nominated Animal Rescue is a half-hour television series showcasing the heroic efforts of people helping animals. Join host and award-winning journalist Alex Payne and the Animal Rescue camera crew as they travel around the world, capturing dramatic rescues, rehabilitation, and relocation stories. For programming schedule, check your local listings today. Don't miss your favorite episodes of Animal Rescue.
Take the first game every one of us played in the schoolyard. Turn up the degree of difficulty to maximum, and then let loose some of the fastest and most agile athletes in the world to go one-on-one in what you have is the most extreme pursuit contest you've ever known. It's intense, it's addictive, and there's only one rule. Don't get caught.
Oh my gosh. If you haven't seen World Chase Tag before, here's how it works.
2 teams of up to 6 athletes compete in a series of one-on-one chases. Each chase lasts up to 20 seconds and has 1 chaser and 1 evader.
Opportunity to points on the board! Oh!
Whoever wins the duel stays on as the evader, and teams get 1 point for each evasion they make.
And it looks like the opening point for this contest.
It's the best of 16 chases to win the match, with a sudden death chase-off required to break any ties. It's win or go home from now on. Don't miss it.
Good morning, Vail.
Now the summer months are approaching, and usually we like to eat a lighter fare. And for those of us that are seafood lovers, it is so important to be educated on when we are shopping and preparing recipes that involve seafood. You know, 90% of the global marine inventory is overfished and exploited. And how do we know, what is the appropriate way to make sure that we're eating the right fish? Joining me today is registered dietitian and nutritionist Roxana Asani here to guide us.
Hi, thanks so much for having me.
Great to have you here. So let's talk about seafood. I'm an avid seafood lover, especially in the summer months because it's just so fresh and delicious. But what does it mean to eat seafood that is sustainable and ethically sourced?
Yeah, so wild and sustainable seafood means you're choosing seafood that has been caught in its natural environment that also is preserving the natural ecosystem. And sustainability is part of Alaska's constitution. And all seafood that comes from Alaska is wild, natural, and sustainable. And it's available year-round, whether you're purchasing fresh, frozen, or canned.
And what are the health benefits to eating this wild-caught seafood?
There are so many. So it's a rich source of protein. It's also a significant source of omega-3 fatty acids, which support immune and heart health. And it's also a rich source of immune boosting vitamins and minerals, including vitamin D, vitamin A, selenium, and zinc.
So speaking of all of these health benefits, but how do we know when we're shopping for seafood that it's actually wild and actually sustainable?
The easiest thing you can do is ask for Alaska. So ask for Alaska when you're at the grocery counter, or look for Alaska on the packaging when you're purchasing frozen or canned. That's really the easiest way to determine if you're purchasing wild and sustainable seafood.
Oh, that's great. And over 60% of Alaskan seafood is really just fresh from the wild. So let's talk a little bit more about the misconceptions when preparing seafood. What can you share with us?
Yeah, so a lot of people think that seafood is difficult or challenging to cook or prepare, when in reality, it's one of the fastest and easiest proteins you can whip up. So whether you're grilling, pan searing, or cooking fresh or frozen, you can have a meal on the table in 15 minutes.
15 minutes is huge, especially during the weeknight when we're all running around and hustling and bustling. So it looks like you've got some incredible recipes in front of you. So what recipes have you prepared for us today?
So here are 2 quick and easy recipes that you can grill up, which is perfect again for summer grilling season. My first one is wild Alaska sockeye salmon skewers with pineapple. This is perfect for anyone who loves that sweet and savory combination. It can be grilled within 10 minutes. My second recipe is wild Alaska sablefish with miso and sesame greens. If you have not given sablefish a try already, I highly encourage you to. It is rich, buttery, silky. It will melt right in your mouth and can be grilled within about 5 minutes. And here we topped it with some garlicky, gingery greens that we sauteed in a pan. Again, another easy, quick dish that's ready in 10 minutes.
So what time should I be over for dinner? Because that looks absolutely delicious. Well, where can we go for more information?
For more recipes and cooking tips, you can visit alaskaseafood.org.
Wonderful. Well, Roxana, thank you so much for joining us, and thanks for your tips and tricks on how to shop for wild and sustainable seafood. We appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
Now stay tuned. We'll be back with more of the show right after this quick break.
Good morning, Vail.
Tune into Coffee with America and start your day in the right direction, where we go over the latest and greatest in health, lifestyle, entertainment, and more. Start your day off on Coffee with America.
Next up, we've got a special duo from two of the best voices in the bluegrass and country genres.
We know you're going to love this one from Melanie Cannon and Willie Nelson. Here's Back to Earth.
And the songs our love created, I still sing. And every night we make the rafters ring.
Join us on the famous Leadville Railroad. This historic train ride takes you on an unforgettable trip through the heart of the Rockies for an afternoon of adventure, relaxation, and sightseeing. Our scenic train rides are a perfect place to bring families closer together while immersing them in the natural beauty and rich history of this picturesque region. Enjoy the spectacular Colorado scenery. Even meet the engineer. Make memories that will last a lifetime. Tickets available at leadvillerailroad.com.
Good morning, Vail.
Now, again, May is Mental Health Awareness Month, but it is always good to have somebody to guide you and help keep you on track to overcome those obstacles, achieve your dreams, and beyond. Avija had a conversation with the author of the book, Everyday Dharma, and how to get your groove back. Let's take a look at that conversation.
Welcome back. We are joined now by Sunil Gupta. Sunil, you are the author of Everyday Dharma. It's a book that I absolutely love. I've been following your work for a long time, and we're going to chat all about your book, but I want to talk a little bit about you. You've had an amazing career, lots of ups and downs, huge success with your app Rise, and some failures. Can we start with this story that I just love? You used to call yourself the poster child for failure. What is that about?
Well, the New York Times did an article in 2014 on people who fail. and my face was the cover of this article. And the story of Ija, believe it or not, it goes viral. And there was a point in time when you could have Googled the word failure. Like, that's it, just the word failure. And my face, it would have been your top search result. And so a mentor of mine convinced me not to be too embarrassed by the article, but to use it. And what I did is I started reaching out to all these people that I admired. And from Oscar-winning filmmakers to celebrity chefs to leaders of large iconic companies, professional sports teams. And I would say, hey, as you can see from this article, I don't know what I'm doing. Would you be willing to give me some advice? And that was 10 years ago. And for the past 10 years, what I have been doing is I've been studying, some of the most exceptional people on the planet who have achieved the top of their game, but at their worst moments, to understand how they got from the bottom all the way back up to the top.
Yeah, and pretty much everybody that we know of that is successful has been through failures. It's just part of it. So
It's all
thank you
part of life.
for normalizing that and having a sense of humor about it. It's such an inspirational story. I love it. Let's talk about the book, Everyday Dharma. So what is Dharma? What is the book about? And tell us a little bit about the inspiration for the book.
Yeah, Dharma is who you are plus what you do. And what I found is that for myself and for so many other people, we can lose touch with that part of ourselves. And I wanted to write a book that really was about how do we find this essence that all of us have, and how do we start to express that to the world. The person who first introduced the idea of Dharma to me was my grandfather. It was on a porch in New Delhi, and he pointed me to the center of an Indian flag. And at the center of the Indian flag, if you look at it, there's a navy blue wheel. And that is the wheel of Dharma. And what he said to me is that as we grow older, that wheel will continue to spin faster and faster. We'll have more commitments, we'll have more obligations, and it's so easy to find yourself caught at the outside of the wheel. And the trick of it is not to prevent that from happening because it's only natural. But the trick of it is to be aware of when that has happened so that you can bring yourself back to the center.
And this wheel that you talk about, there's 8 teachings of Dharma in the wheel. Am I right?
There's 8 teachings in the book. Yeah.
Yeah, and you go through each one. I absolutely love it. Talk to me a little bit about arrival fallacy. That's something you talked about in the book, and I think it's so important.
Yeah, so the arrival fallacy is a term that was coined by Dr. Tal Ben-Shahar, who was at Harvard. He's now at Columbia University. And what he said is that we all sort of feel, we've been conditioned to believe that we're going to reach this moment of arrival in our lives, where we have enough money, we have enough status, we have enough success, that we're going to finally feel complete. We're going to finally feel fulfilled. But that never quite happens, does it? And we hit a goal, we hit a milestone, and then the goalpost moves again, and it moves again, and it moves again. Now, that's not all to say that we shouldn't have goals in life. Goals are important, but it's more to understand that our happiness, our joy, isn't necessarily coming from the completion of hitting goals, but it's coming from what happens between where we are right now and the goal itself. And so we have to choose things that really do make us come alive. That is part of happiness when it comes to work, when it comes to how we bring joy to what we do. And it also has to do with how we actually serve ourselves and others in the best way. Because, look, when we're having fun with what we do, when we actually enjoy what we do, we do it better.
Yeah. And speaking of enjoying what we do, my favorite one of the teachings is Leela, which translates to high play, which basically means make your work your play and your play your work. Wasn't that a quote by Phil Jackson or somebody?
That's right. Yeah, Phil Jackson.
And I feel so lucky for my job. I always say I get paid to have fun and enjoy myself because I get to meet people like you. I get to talk to people. I get to go out and have fun. Enjoying your work is so important. How can people bring Leela into their life more?
Yeah. I mean, the cool thing, Abhijah, is that you don't have to have a job as a television broadcaster in order to bring Leela and play into your life. Sometimes just simply asking ourselves the question, how do we have fun with what it is that we're doing right now? Like, just asking yourself that question will start to invite more of a sense of play into your life and into your work. The great mountain climber Alex Lowe was once asked, who are the best mountain climbers in the world? And his answer was, it's simple. It's the ones who are having the most fun. And sometimes we have been conditioned to believe that fun and work are sort of these two separate worlds that are not to be combined. But when we look at the research and we start really digging into what it means to be great at anything you do, no matter what your job is, we find that the people who are doing the best are the ones who are inviting a little bit more of a sense of play into their lives.
I love that. And you've had a very successful career, like I mentioned. I mean, you were a speechwriter, you worked in Washington, D.C. You've done so much. Are you living your Dharma?
I am. It took me a while to get here.
Uh-huh.
But there were two questions that really, I think, helped me get to a place of understanding who I am. And those two questions were, the first one was, if it was impossible to fail, what would I do? And that question helped me understand what my wildest goals were in life. But the second question, which I think is even more important, is what would you do even if you did fail? Because I think if you can answer that question, then you know that you're after something that is really appealing to your deepest desire. It's your deepest love. Like if you look at a musician, for example, a musician, obviously, most of them want to build great audiences. They want to have lots of fans. They want to maybe make money, have status, success. But they're going to play music no matter what, even if all of that stuff wasn't true, because they love the music. And so I think for us to really discover our Dharma, we have to ask ourselves not only just what would we do if it was impossible to fail, but what would you do even if you did?
And what was the answer to that first question when you asked yourself that?
Oh, it's interesting, Abhijit, because for me, the answers of both questions kind of led me to one place, which is I love to study exciting stories, people who have, reached the top of their game, but to understand sort of what they were like when they were at their worst. So what were the best of the best like when they were at their worst? Because I think that that's where we learn the most. Like when I sat down with Bill Gates, for example, one of the things he told me is that success is a lousy teacher, right? Success is wonderful, but it doesn't teach us as much as failure does. And if we can study people in the moments where there were setbacks, where there were mistakes, where there were accidents, slip-ups, that's where we start to learn the most. And so that is my passion. I go out there, I study people who are, doing really exciting things, but I sort of rewind the clock to the moments when things were not going their way to understand how they behaved in those moments, because I think that's where we can learn the most.
It's hard to imagine that somebody like Bill Gates had failures, but I presume he did, correct?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Along the way of building Microsoft, but even after Microsoft became a big company, if you look at the way the stock performed, it had lots of ups and downs. Even if you look at the work that he does around his foundation, I mean, one of the things that I was surprised to find out is like, he talks a lot more about the failures, the things that did not work, because he holds those in just as high regard. You have to go through these failures in order to understand what doesn't work. And so it's just part of the process. And I think that really is the key differentiator, I think, of people who are able to reach their potential in life, is that for them, like the failures, the setbacks, it's all just part of the process. In fact, in some ways, it's a speedier part of the process because you learn a lot more, you get a lot of more growth. And I think you also develop more of a sense of resilience during those moments as well, which we know serves us in every other part of our life.
I love that because so many people probably they experience a failure or rejection and then they think they're not good enough and they want to give up. But if you understand the stories of all these successful people, that everybody's gone through it, that it can be really inspiring. And I want everybody to go out and get the book Everyday Dharma because it is so inspiring. I love it because this is a lot of wisdom that you bring is from ancient texts like the Bhagavad Gita, correct?
Yeah,
so I
that's
love
right.
hearing these stories. You bring ancient wisdom but put it into modern times and modern examples. So that's a really amazing book. It just page turner.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, no, I mean, I think one of the things that was constantly surprising me by writing the book is that a lot of modern day science in some ways is catching up to ancient wisdom, which I know sounds a little weird to say, but we are finding that there's a lot of things that we are kind of coming to right now with ideas around equanimity and finding comfort in the discomfort, all the things that I think are urgent of our time right now with all the stress and exhaustion that everybody feels. There's a lot of science that is proving out what I think we have known for thousands of years. And so this book aims to marry both of those things together.
I love it. Thank you so much, Sunil, for taking the time to talk to us today. The book is called Everyday Dharma. Go out and get it, and we'll talk to you soon, Sunil. Thank you.
Thanks so much.
Good morning, Vail.
Daily Flash.
I'm Andrea Jackson.
I'm Mitch English, welcoming you to
Mitch English and Andrea Jackson have co-hosted together for over a decade. And now, only on Daily Flash, they serve up a fast, fun, fresh perspective on the day's trending news and entertainment. Daily Flash offers the latest in pop news, celebrity gossip, fashion, health, wellness, and even some unscripted, irreverent, who knows what's next fun. Daily Flash with Mitch English and Andrea Jackson. Trending news and entertainment.
Hi, I'm Ben Belgrad, and I'm the owner of Drinking Vessels here at Bat Country Studios in Minturn. And I've been in the Valley for 7 years. I moved to the Valley because a friend helped me to get my vision off the ground, building my glass studio here, and being so close to snowboarding. So here at the studio, we're acting as a broker for 50 to 100 artists from around the country. We also offer glassblowing classes, and we bring many artists from around the country here to be able to work and create art collaboratively and be so close to skiing and all the activities we have here in the Valley. Here at Drinking Vessels, we specialize in handmade glass drinkware from artists around the country and around the world. Some of these are produced as more of an item you could get in sets and kind of get different color options as time goes on. And some of these are completely one of a kind and really high-end art that's unlike anything people have seen before. While I'm an artist myself here at the studio, I'm representing between 50 and 100 other artists from around the country. And most of these artists are able to spend most of their time working on their art while we help handle their marketing and their sales and the distribution and representation, allowing them more time to focus on their art. That's really my privilege in running this business, is creating that support and providing that platform for this big group of artists that are part of a movement that's very important to me.
The Paltrowcast is an award-winning weekly series featuring exclusive interviews with entertainers, athletes, and other influencers. Tune in weekdays at 10 a.m. to see where the conversation takes us.
Paltrowcast. Tune in Saturdays at 5 p.m. for Offbeat Cinema, where the coffee is always hot and the movies are oh so cool. Find us on Xfinity Channel 92 or on our website at tv8vail.com.
TV8, there's more for you on 92. Serving the local community 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Good morning, Vail.
With summer rapidly approaching, we are all looking to have a little bit of a lighter fare, especially because all of those fresh vegetables are in season. We had a conversation with Chef Jamie about how to make a delicious summer salad. Let's take a look.
Chef Jamie Gwen here to kick off summer. Do you love summer salads? Well, then look no further. This red, white, and blue gorgonzola salad is perfect for Memorial Day. I start with Fresh Express sweet butter lettuce, add fresh fruit and festive colors like strawberries, blueberries, and pears, paired with a mix of gorgonzola and mozzarella cheese, and then topped with a light raspberry vinaigrette. It is so good. Fresh Express offers more than 100 varieties of fresh, healthy, convenient, ready-to-eat salads available in the produce section of your favorite grocery store, making it easy to entertain all summer long. Now, I like to have a really simple, delicious, plant-based offering for my guests. And one of my favorite ingredients to include is California-grown prunes from Sunsweet. This is a prune and goat cheese bruschetta that is delicious. California grown prunes are a really good source of vitamins and minerals, helping maintain bone and heart health and keeping you feeling full. In fact, research suggests that eating 5 to 6 prunes each day may help prevent bone loss and improve risk factors for heart disease and inflammation. Prunes serve as a great substitute for unhealthy fats or sugars in everyday recipes. I throw them into my morning smoothie. They definitely increase your health benefits without losing any flavor. You've got to try this recipe. Now, to give my guests a refreshing drink, it's never been easier. This is the new versatile K-iced brewer from Keurig. It brews both delicious iced coffee and full flavored hot coffee from one machine. One push of the blue brew over ice button, the K-iced coffee maker automatically adjusts the brew temperature for that balanced iced coffee that never tastes watered down. They have the first of its kind as well, an iced refresher available, strawberry acai and pineapple passion fruit, both so refreshing. They're bursting with sweet fruit flavors. This is how you stay cool in that hot summer heat. And last but not least, summer cookouts are never complete without Bush's baked beans. I grew up on them. I love them. My mom adds her signature twist and I add mine. I added brisket, burnt ends, smoked bacon, and barbecue sauce. That's how you kick off cookout season. Whether it's the original, the brown sugar hickory, or the flavor you love, Bush's baked beans are the perfect pairing for any cookout and the perfect side dish for a good time. You should try Bush's zero sugar added baked beans, featuring that iconic flavor that you love without the added sugar as well. Whether you're serving them directly from the can or you add your own spin, they are incredibly versatile, and that's how you enhance your cookout. For more information, visit dailylounge.com, and here's to good eating.
Well, thank you to Chef Jamie Gwen for sharing some delicious tips and tricks for this summer's salad preparations and beyond. Speaking of, let's look at the weather because we are heading into those summer months. It's going to be a high today of 57 degrees, quite the change from yesterday where we saw snow, sleet, whatever it was. But now we're back to those beautiful sunshiny skies that we all know and love here in the summertime. We were looking at winds from the west by southwest at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Looking at that I-70 corridor, 74 degrees in Denver, 57 in Vail, 64 in Avon, and 66 in Eagle. So quite the swing between Vail and Avon. But you know what? It's looking great. Sunshine is out all day long. Tonight, we are still looking at colder temperatures, 35 for the low. Mostly clear in the sunset at 8:20 p.m. Winds coming from the south at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Now, the 5-day forecast. We are heading into Memorial Day weekend, and we want to see what that weather looks like. Thursday, 10% chance of precipitation, which means we might get a light afternoon shower or two. Mostly sunny though, cloud coverage, slight coverage there. 28 degrees for the low, 59 for the high. Friday, 54 for the high, 36 for the low. Partially cloudy on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Looking like we're going to stay in the 50s all throughout the weekend. 36 for the low and 32 on Sunday. Then Monday, the sun is back, Memorial Day, 60 degrees for the high, 37 for the low. So looks like it's going to be a pretty decent weather weekend as we head into Memorial Day weekend. Now, great show today. I love being in the kitchen, making delicious Rice Krispie treats. You can never go wrong with a good childhood classic. Plus, we had Avija. She had 2 conversations with authors about their books, one on how to just propel your life forward, and then another one how to confront those anxieties, making sure that you are confident in what you're doing and you can take control. And then, as always, Chef Jamie Gwen. And then we also had the dietitian and nutritionist about how to source for wild and sustainable seafood throughout the summer months. I'm Kimberly Pro, and I will see you next time.
Good morning, Vail. See what lies in store for you. There's so many things to see and do. Summer, winter, spring, or fall. Your home in the Rockies has it all. So get up, get ready to start your day. The coffee's brewing, you're on your way. The fun is waiting outside your door. Good morning, Vail.
I'm Amy Goodman, host of Democracy Now! Our independent news hour offers diverse perspectives and unique opinions, often unheard in the mainstream media, live as the news unfolds. Tune in for Democracy Now!, the War and Peace Report, weekday mornings at 9 and evenings at 6 on TV8 Vail, Comcast Xfinity Channel 92. There's more for you on Channel 92.
You know TV8 Vail has great local content, but did you know about our production?